All right, good evening. I'm calling to order our Concord Township Board of Trustee meeting for this beautiful day, March 16th, 2022. If you can please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Rolls, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Ms. Lucci. Mr. Dondorfer.
Present.
Mrs. Lucci.
Present. So we have some honored guests this evening. We have Mr. Gary Platko, who is the treasurer and CFO of Riverside High School, along with Dr. Melissa Malakar, who is the executive director of curriculum for Riverside. And I understand you wish to say a few words. Please come up. Thank you.
Well, thank you for giving us a few minutes today to kind of talk about the ballot issue, the bond issue on the May 3rd ballot coming up in the next election here. Normally, Dr. Kayles would be here for these presentations as well. We had scheduling conflicts, and now I'm filling in his part. So if I seem a little rusty on the little bit of the background, because he's got it all memorized down, and I'm going to kind of fill in that part. So just wanted to give you a little bit of history of how we got to where we are today with having a bond issue on the ballot. Back in 2008 and 2013, the district worked with the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission to address the aging facilities at Riverside and some enrollment issues, and coming up with a plan of how to move forward. The OFCC did an analysis. They go through and they look at your structure, your spaces, throughout the whole building, and they determine what the cost would be to renovate and to build new. And basically, the OFCC's recommendation was that Riverside should knock down all of their buildings except for the Lamouth Middle School and build new and put up a huge bond to do all that at one time. At the time, the district was in more financial struggles at that point, so they didn't really do a lot with it at that time, but put together a committee to figure out how to move forward because it was too much to do it at one time. And so there was a committee put together of administrators, teachers, community members, and local officials and things like that to come up with a plan, and they came up with a three-phase plan to address the aging facilities at Riverside. So there was the first phase was to build 2 new elementary schools, which that phase has been done, Parkside and Riverview, and take down 4 of our oldest elementary schools. The second phase is to build the 6th through 12th campus at the current Riverside High School site. And then the third phase is to convert Lamouth Middle School into an elementary school with no additional tax increase. Some of the things that, some of the issues at the Riverside High School, includes, lack of space. If you look at the OFCC has a recommendation on how much space you should have for the number of students, and we're lacking in needed space, and Dr. Malakar will talk a little bit more about that. And also, Riverside campus is going to be the oldest high school in Lake County once Fairport Harbor finishes their construction project. On the ballot on May 3rd is going to be issue 1, and that's to raise $147,725,000 to build that new campus for grades 6 through 12. And it's a 5.37 mil levy. What that equates to is $187.95 per 100,000, or $15.66 per month. Mallory's going to hand out a frequently asked questions list that's on our website that has these numbers and figures on it, so you can, you don't have to memorize those figures. Wanted to point out too that back to the OFCC audit, they recommend that you build new if the renovation cost exceeds 2/3 of the cost of building new. So when they did their analysis, they determined that we should build new and not renovate. Plus, with with the school operating through June, letting out the first week of June or so, and then coming back mid to late August, it's really hard to do any significant renovations during such a short time frame. If the voters approve the levy on May 3rd, the district will go into the design phase of designing that new campus, and then going out to bid with an anticipated open date of August of 2026. Lastly, I wanted to point out that Riverside currently has the 3rd lowest school district tax rate in Lake County at 30.14 mils, Perry's obviously the lowest because of the power plant, and usually Riverside and Mass are the two lowest, depending on who passed the most recent levy. If this levy is approved, we would move to the fourth lowest in Lake County at that time. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Malaka here to kind of give a little bit more of the need and pick up anything that I may have missed from the gym that helped me present it.
Didn't do too bad, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
thank you again for having us today. I just want to go over a little bit of the programming that we are hoping to do, new programming that we're hoping to do, and talk a little bit about the space issues like Gary said. So first, it is a 612 campus that we're looking at, but I want to make sure that we say very clearly it would be separate wings. So our intent is not to have 6th graders with 12th graders and that sort of thing. It would be 2 separate wings with maybe some shared spaces for the ease of efficiencies, maybe cafeteria, a shared auditorium, things like that, maybe some shared creative art spaces that we could use together. But students would be separated. There also has been a lot of questions about busing. While we can't guarantee that we would run 2 bus routes, we would be certainly looking at that, because if anybody has ever been to the campus, this is one of Dr. Kalis's favorite lines in this presentation. If you've ever been to the campus during arrival or dismissal, it's hard enough getting 1,800 kids, add another 700 potentially, and getting all those students to a campus at one time probably would not be a good idea. So we would be keeping middle school and high school kids separated, and we would be looking at separate bus routes, a tiered bus route system. So having said that, some of the things that we hope to do in a new building deal with the programming. So a lot of what we're getting back from community, from staff, from students, is they want to see more career programming in their home high school. We are not looking to compete with Auburn. Auburn has its place, and they do a great job as the vocational career tech educators in our district, for our area. But we would like to do more stuff at Riverside. We kept, and I'd say to Dr. Kalis's credit, we have a fabulous welding lab that we have renovated through a grant. So it's up to 21st century standards. We're able to offer welding. 10 years ago, I said, what do we need a welding lab? What do we need the wood shop for? And Dr. Kalis said, absolutely not. We are not getting rid of those spaces. I don't very frequently say he was right, but Dr. Kalis was right. We need those spaces, and I say that when he's around. So we have a great welding lab. We have the wood shop space, but we don't have any other large spaces to do any kind of career programming. So, and here's what people don't realize when we start to talk about programming. When we take a space, those spaces exist already. When we take a space to start a new program, I'm taking it away from something else. So we have a really great class that started, Principles of Business. It used to be our marketing class. They started a school store this year. Some of you might be familiar with that. So they're printing t-shirts. They got a grant to get the printing presses. They're taking orders. They're doing a great job. But in order to make that happen, I have Mr. Ross, who teaches the Principles of Business class. We needed a place for the school store. So we had to take the classroom next to his. The two are connected. They happen to be already. But that means that teacher that was in that classroom next to Mr. Ross's class is now displaced. That's a traveling teacher. Same thing is happening with one of our tech classes. They want to do more multimedia, do some production stuff. We have our tech teacher who has her classroom. The classroom next to it we're going to take so they can do a green screen and a production lab. We have to take that classroom. That now means another teacher is displaced. So we're creating the programs, but what it does is create a situation where teachers have to travel, which is not optimal for teachers or for then students who are coming into their classes, because we still have to offer 14 sections of American government or 15 sections of geometry. So we're not losing any of our core classes. We're continuing to add that programming, which is where the space starts to come in as an issue. And then the other piece to the space issue is a lot of people will say Riverside has been just fine for me. I was educated there. I am a product of Riverside, a proud graduate, and my children all went through there. The classrooms are set up for 25 to 30 desks to sit face forward and listen to a teacher. Just so you know, this is not ever how I would teach a class. If I was in a classroom, I would be moving constantly, and that's what teachers are doing now. And now we want to teach in a blended learning environment, which elementary teachers call station rotation. High school teachers don't like rhyming words, so we call it blended learning. But what it is students working in small groups or on different activities throughout the room. In the size of these classrooms with 25 almost adult-sized bodies, it's difficult to get 5 kids working there, and 5 kids here, and 2 here, and 3 there, and the teacher to be able to move throughout the room freely. So the classroom space itself is a little bit tight, and we just don't have those spaces to spread out and allow kids to do that movement and do the kind of teaching that we're moving towards with all of our students in all of our classes. So the issues that we're facing at Riverside, some of it is a programming issue that we're trying to solve, and some of it is a general space issue. Like Gary said, we are currently about 342 students over what we should be at the campus right now, space-wise, according to the OFCC and their guidelines for how much square footage you should have per student. And the reality is our communities are continuing to grow. You know, between Concord and Painesville Township, there are new developments everywhere. So we're looking to build even bigger than the OFCC has recommended, because we are already seeing in our elementaries that we're starting to fill those classrooms up. And we built bigger in those also than was recommended by the OFCC. So I just wanted to bring that programming piece to you so that there's a little better understanding of why we're seeking to do this next phase. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
No, I can certainly understand the challenges of old space and new technology and things that change. And I do understand, you know, when you move into a community, it's important that your schools have a high ranking. So I can appreciate the challenges that you're facing.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
I know Mallory, like she said, she has the frequently asked questions, and we'll leave a couple extra copies in case anybody happens to stop in the office.
Sure.
They can grab one, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
It was
very
great talking
much.
to you guys tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, we urge our residents, in case they want any of that information, they can get those right here at the township from,
Okay.
yep,
And it's on the website too.
Okay.
Just in case
Great.
they can't
All right.
stop in or they don't, you know what I mean, they can't access the hard copy.
And we'll add to the website as new questions come up.
Okay. Great.
Thank you very much for
very
coming
much.
in
Have a
this
good
evening.
evening.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
All right. You're just gonna sit. I think you guys are fun.
Okay. We will move on to the approval of minutes.
Okay, Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the March 2nd, 2022 regular trustee meeting minutes.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I'll make an additional motion to approve the minutes from the March 8th, 2022 special meeting.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, it's time for our elected officials report. Our fiscal officer is not with us this evening, so we are going to move on to Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to start off by thanking our Recreation Director, Deb Esker, and the Recreation Group for putting on the Founders Day breakfast to kick off Concord Township's Bicentennial. It was a nice event, nice morning. Got to catch up with some other elected officials and in honor of Concord Township's 200th birthday. So that was a great event. I did notice that the looks to be some significant work at the intersection of Morley and Prouty Road on that traffic signal that we have been working on diligently to increase safety in that intersection, which is quite challenging, and it looks like it's going to be completed here shortly with green arrows for all the different directions there, which will facilitate hopefully more safe travel. I did receive a call from a resident in Concord since our last meeting regarding some concerns in their cul-de-sac with some landscaping that involves Concord Township maintaining that cul-de-sac, and that situation was handled with our service department and Tim Brown. They're going to correct that issue and maintain that, so that was handled. It's nice to see the construction moving forward at the fire department across the street. Always like going by there. Saw some nice aerial footage from the drones at the site. So it's exciting to see that project moving forward. We're all, vested in that. I would like to say, though, additionally to our residents, I've noticed frequently in the last week we've had some more instances of individuals driving through residential areas. It happened the beginning of the week on the west end of the county, and early this morning in Painesville Township, our neighboring township, in which individuals were driving down the street early morning hours. Passengers of the vehicle would exit the vehicles and then go door to door looking for unlocked cars, rummage through those cars. We had there were 3 vehicles stolen early this morning between Painesville Township and Painesville City, and another 3 stolen early Monday around 3:30 a.m. In the area of the city of Kirtland and Willoughby Hills. So I would just urge residents, because this is becoming more of a prevalent situation in not only our county, adjacent counties, to just to be vigilant, remember to lock your vehicles, don't keep valuables in there. If you see anything suspicious, obviously, call your local law enforcement agency, because you just want to practice good safety initiatives. Outside of that, I don't think I have anything else.
All right, thank you
Thanks.
for those safety tips. So yes, we are still sort of reeling from our birthday celebration last week. It was nice to celebrate with some of our local and elected officials, and thanks again to Deb and her staff for making that a great event. There were other things planned that day that we got to work with too, so it was still a very fun day, and we look forward to a lot more fun events this year. A few of us met a few weeks ago at a legislative event where we heard from some of our local and state officials. Mainly the topics covered some economic development and ARPA funding. That was a nice event to see some of our state officials there. We interviewed some captains for our deputy chief position, which went very well. We are very lucky to have such qualified individuals and just downright great human beings. So it's always a pleasure to get to speak with them. We did receive some emails regarding some zoning and permit issues, which our zoning director helped with. A resident did inform us of some kids riding some off-road trail bikes on a street which is not permitted, and just please be careful, mind the laws, and don't let your children ride on streets where other cars are and they don't have a license to do that. We also met today with our Chardon Township folks on our road maintenance agreement, which Mr. Brown and their service director helped us come up with. And other than that, hope everybody enjoys the nice weather, and happy St. Patrick's Day. And as my husband reminded me, St. Patrick really was Italian.
He was.
Yes. So, but in any event,
We might need a legal.
he was Italian.
We might need a legal opinion on that. We may have to research that.
It's not the first time the judge has corrected me, so.
So we did wear our green for, yes, I know. So I just had to give you another time there, Mr. Lucas. And with that, that concludes my report. So we will move on to department reports, and our administrator, Mr. Andy Rose.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci, members of the board, members of the audience, good evening. I am absolutely encouraged by the beautiful weather we had today. And as we were coming back from Chardon Township, there's kids all over the ball field today and this day. They're starting to practice. It just is fantastic. So I'm very excited for spring. I'll start off my report with a few items that are on the agenda. Item A is a resolution which finalizes our OPWC, Ohio Public Works Commission application. That's for the resurfacing of the roads in Noble Ridge subdivision, Brooklyn Way, Jamie Drive, and Kenneth Drive. Item B is a purchase order which renews the landscape contract for 2022. Same landscaper as last year, and no increase in price. So we're very encouraged by that. Item C is a purchase order to repair one of our larger plow trucks that was damaged in the accident. And this is tied to the insurance claim, but we need the purchase order to affect the repairs. I talked to both Service Department, Recreation Department. The nets for the tennis and pickleball courts will be up the first week in April. So those will be coming up for folks to enjoy.
Great.
Yard waste drop-off, and this is on the website, but yard waste drop-off will begin on April 4th, and it will run until June 6th. Yard waste can be dropped off in biodegradable paper bags at the service department Monday through Friday from 7:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon. Speaking of spring, and it was touched on by Mrs. Lucci, we've been contacted by several residents regarding the use of the dirt bikes and ATVs on the road. And I realize they are very fun to ride. However, as a reminder, these types of vehicles are designed for off-road activities. They should not be ridden on our public streets. And I'm gonna rely on Mr. Dondorfer's extensive experience in probably chasing down a handful of these over the years in just a minute. But lastly, as I've been doing this year during our bicentennial, Rick, if you could put up our featured picture for the meeting. Our featured bicentennial picture this meeting is a photo of the main hangar at Concord Air Park. Concord Air Park was established in Concord Township in 1954. This hangar, which is a local landmark, was recently featured in a Hollywood movie titled The Marksman, which stars Liam Neeson. And it's neat when you watch the movie to see the Concord Air Park in the background of some good scenes. And it's a prominent part of Concord Township, and the air park coincidentally is owned but operated by Connie Luda, who is also a former township trustee. Thank you, Rick. And now I'll go back and maybe Mr. Dondorfer, you could just kind of amplify the whole ATV dirt bike off-road versus, those bikes aren't made for on-road.
No, they're not made for on-road, but if you are moving from a road to private property where you have the authorization to use that vehicle, it has to be licensed through the state. You have to have a helmet, you have to have a registration, you have to have a licensed driver on there. You can't be operating, under the age of 16 on there without a helmet or anything of that nature, and even on the bike. It's not
Right.
It's not legal to be on the road. And part of that reason is because it's dangerous. You're on a residential roadway and you're zipping across, and there's other traffic, coming in and out, leaving driveways, driving down the road. It's a safety issue. So we urge parents that have those, bikes and ATVs and things to that to adhere to the law and to use them where they're supposed to be used.
It's kind of nerve-wracking for regular drivers to kind of drive
Right.
around and
Right.
figure out, okay, are they allowed? Am I passing them? So they're not
Right.
allowed. Okay.
And that concludes my report. Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
Lucci.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. So it's time for our audience portion. Do we have anybody here that would like to say a few things? Mr. Placco already did. Anybody on the phone that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none. Let's move to old business. We see that we have none, so we will move to new business.
Okay, Madam Chair, I would make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-08. This is OPWC for Noble Ridge Subdivision Reconstruction Project for Brooklyn Way, Jamie Drive, and Kenneth Drive.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I would make a motion to approve the PO to Lake Erie Shores Contracting in the amount of $57,063 for option year 2022. This is mowing and landscape maintenance of Concord Township properties and cemeteries.
And I second. Any discussion?
No, I think Mr. Rose covered it. At least we don't have an increase and it's stayed the same.
I'm thrilled that there's no increase
Right.
this year, and
They did a nice job.
we have a very good relationship
Yeah.
with Lake Erie Shores.
That was our
crew, and
first year with them last
Yeah.
year, right?
Last year was the
Right.
first
Yeah.
year,
They
and
did a nice
they
job.
accepted the option,
Yeah.
and with no price increase. So we're
Yeah, and they did a nice job.
Okay,
glad to have them back.
all in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the Service Department PO to Dean's Truck and Body in the amount of $10,987.78 for repairs to the snowplow truck number 21.
And I second. Any discussion?
No, just a result of the
this-
plowing incident over this season where we
Right.
had some body damage that needs to be replaced.
Yes, correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve and appoint Rich Eifelis to Zoning Commissioner, regular member effective April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2027.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the promotion of Captain Michael Bedell to the position of Deputy Fire Chief effective March 27th, 2022.
And I second. Any discussion?
You know, you touched on it. Listen, we are very fortunate to have the cadre of firefighters that we have here in Concord Township. I personally worked with all of these gentlemen that we're promoting today in a professional capacity through my years at the Sheriff's Department. They're outstanding first responders. They're outstanding public servants, and you know we couldn't be better off than what we are to have these people at our disposal here in Concord Township, and they will most definitely carry our safety services here in the township into the future with being in good hands. So
I agree. He brings a lot of expertise, a lot of education. You know, I think he's going to be a great leader with our fire chief, Matt Szabo.
And it's a testament to the guidance that they've had through the years, not only from the current chief now and Deputy Chief Terriaco who's retiring. I mean, it's a testament to them being prepared and to accept this leadership role. So we're very fortunate.
Absolutely, and they all say that. They all say that they are where they are because of the leadership. So we appreciate that. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the promotion of Lieutenant Dennis Calhoun to the position of Captain effective March 27, 2022.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the promotion of full-time firefighter Troy Yoder to the position of Lieutenant effective March 27, 2022.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the promotion of probationary firefighter EMT Basic Robert Forster to probationary firefighter paramedic effective March 10th, 2022.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye. Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the promotion of probationary firefighter EMT Basic Grant Eggensberger to probationary firefighter paramedic effective March 10th, 2022.
And I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks for reading all those.
No problem.
Save me some air. So the next item is to set a public hearing date for zoning amendment application. Do I need to read that?
Would you like me to read it for
Sure.
everybody? The next item on the agenda is item J. Set public hearing for zoning amendment application 2022 TAC 1 by Concord Preserve LLC, requesting a zoning resolution map amendment from the current zoning district of Town Hall neighborhood to R1 residential district for the following properties owned by Concord Preserve LLC located on Concord Hamden Road. Current permanent parcel number 08A01400000760, 08A01400000770. Next parcel is 08A01400000780. Next parcel is 08A01400000790. The next parcel is 08A014000800. And finally, 08A01400000810. Shooey.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for that.
Sure.
So for this first public hearing, can we agree on perhaps April 6th? we can set, in lieu of office hours, we can set a 6:30 time
It's fine.
for this first
It's
one.
Fine, yep.
So we'll
I'm
do
sure that'll
6.
be good for Mr. McIntosh.
Sure. Okay, so 6:30 on April 6th for item J. And next we have item K.
Item K, set public hearing for the following zoning text amendments as initiated by the Zoning Commission. Amendment number 1, to amend section 16.24, permitted density and open space requirements, to add new section F, environmental restoration plan. Amendment number 2, amend section 16.24 CE to change landscape plan requirement to environmental restoration plan. And amendment 3, amend section 6.02 prohibited uses to add new section J, medical marijuana retail dispensaries.
Okay, so we can look at 7 o'clock on April 6th?
My recommendation, Madam Chair, would be to set that a little shorter and just, I would set that for 6:45 or immediately following the conclusion of the zoning amendment application, that's the previous public hearing. If that one ends up going short, then you can roll right into this one and you wouldn't have to wait till 7 o'clock.
Okay, so
fine.
immediately
It's just-
following?
It's just cleaner, and then you can just roll from one right into the other without a pause.
Okay, that sounds good
works.
to me. That work
Yep,
for you?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then we'll move on to future meetings and announcements. Mr. Rose, please.
Thank you. On April 1st at 9 a.m., there will be a staff meeting here at Town Hall. On April 5th at 7 p.m., the Zoning Commission will meet here at Town Hall. And then on April 6th at 6:30 p.m. will be public hearing number 1 for zoning amendment application 2022-1. And then at 6:45 or immediately following the first public hearing will be a public hearing for for zoning text amendments as initiated by the Zoning Commission. Office hours is canceled, and the trustee meeting will be on April 6th at 7 p.m. Or immediately following the conclusion of the second public hearing. And that concludes meetings and announcements.
All right.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
That concludes our meeting this evening. Thank you for coming and have a great evening.
Have a great evening, Concord.